So here I am back in that loop again, that loop that we all find ourselves in all the time, waiting for just the right moment, waiting for things to be perfect or aligned the right way to take that leap of action, to take the next step towards the goals that we have. And for those of you who started from my first episode in this podcast, you know that when I got started not too long ago, the biggest thing for me was just taking that leap and taking that action to get started, because I was waiting for just the right moment to have the right framework, the right gear, equipment, all the things that I want to talk about. I wanted it all planned out before I even got started. And so I was just waiting for that moment that was never going to come. And then I decided to take that leap and just start and show up messy, show up as my authentic self, show up unpolished, and not really care about the opinions of others, and just show up because this is something that I have a dream of doing and I want to do this thing. And I kind of was on a momentum, got a bunch of podcasts out, episodes, and then here I am finding myself right back to where I started. And obviously it's not right back to where I started, because you're never in the same place. Even if you feel like you've fallen back a few steps, there's so much that I've taken out of the experience so far from this journey. And so I'm not in the same place, but at the same time, I took a long pause because I was getting too focused on the details. I wanted to have the right thumbnail to get the right amount of views and clicks. And I was kind of second guessing the topics I wanted to talk about and wanting it to be super polished, maybe putting too much emphasis on writing a script instead of speaking from the heart and just off the bat, because this person tells you this is how to do the thing, and that person tells you no, that's how you should do it. And so listening to advice from other people is great, but then it kind of got me in that stuck space of needing things to be perfect again. And so I stopped. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to give this another shot, because I know it's a big dream of mine to have a podcast, and just one of the many things I want to do with my life. And it's just a fun project. It's a way for me to express my voice and speak about things that I care about, and maybe share inspiration with other people. And I find that when we wait for that perfect moment, it just doesn't happen. And then we kind of kick ourselves, like months go by and you look back and realize you could have been building this beautiful thing, and instead you're kind of waiting for that perfection. And I realized like this is similar with anything in our growth journey. I, for myself personally, for quite a number of years now, I've been on this journey of just expansion, growth, getting to know myself better and learn more about myself, about the world, about life, and define more, create a life that is more aligned with what I want, and getting clear on that. And in this journey, as with anyone's experience in life, we find ourselves taking steps forward and then steps backwards. And it's in those steps backwards where I personally can be hard on myself, because I'm trying to grow and become a greater person. And then when I fall back, I'm hey, I know better than this. A lot of it's in the head, right? It's I know better than to be acting in this way, or doing these actions, or not doing these actions that I want to do. So then why am I not doing it? And then you kind of get into that space of beating yourself up, or me personally, I don't know about you, but I get into the space of being hard on myself for not doing it when I know better. But that is part of life, and part of being human is not always doing the thing. And I've realized that there is so much growth that happens in that space when you do fall backwards, and having the awareness to kind of reflect when you're in that space of feeling like you fell a few steps back, to really reflect on what's going on inside and why and what are the limiting beliefs and stories that I'm telling myself that brought me back to this space. For example, with the podcast here, so I was in the momentum, I put out a few episodes and then I fell into that loop again, and I realized there's a part of me that's afraid of other people's opinions, and I want what I say to make a difference and reach as many people as I can. And then some days I just don't feel like doing it, partially because it has to be just right. And if I'm not feeling like it's just right, then I'm like, you know what, let me wait for a day that I feel more in that space, when my energy feels more alive and vibrant. And then you just keep pushing the thing down further and further. And so today, it happens to be, I've been having a great day, and I was out and just got back home and felt like in a really vibrant space and like more alive. And I decided this is my chance to jump back in and do the thing, because it's like really like a muscle. Like the more you do the things that are uncomfortable and maybe you don't feel like it's the perfect time to do it, but you're taking that action, and then that action is proof to yourself that this is something you could do, and it gets easier. Like you start thinking less about it, you stop second guessing yourself all the time and feel more confident in what you're creating. It just becomes easier. And I see for myself also, like especially in terms of confidence, which from time to time I do struggle with feeling confident, especially when it comes to what I'm offering out to the world and to other people. There's always that little voice in my head, and the more I create these things that feel big and feel like maybe this is out of reach, but then I go and do the thing, it's proof to myself that I can do it. I can do whatever I decide I want to do. And the same way anyone can build the life they want, you know, we look at other people, and I'm not saying we should go and compare our lives to other people, but you realize like we're all just figuring this life out, and nobody really knows what they're doing. Even the people that they look like they're all polished and put together, and they look like they're super confident and have not a care in the world. Even for them, they're just figuring it out, and the difference is they're choosing to take the action and do the thing. And if it doesn't work out and it messes up or doesn't come out as they want, no harm done. Like there's no big deal. So you start again, or you do something else, you pivot. And so I'm realizing that, and I really want to focus on this more in this season, especially in the summer when things do feel more vibrant and alive. I want to really tap into that space and that energy and take those shots in life and do the things that feel scary but are not really scary once you do them. And who knows where that's going to take me. And I feel like when we don't take those shots in life, we're not allowing the universe, or whatever you believe, but we're not allowing the magic to come through because the door is shut. But when you're just open and you're allowing things to flow and you're trying all these new things without putting too much attachment to the outcome of the thing, but just showing up and just throwing darts and seeing where they land, that allows magic to happen. That allows opportunities to come through, cool experiences, cool people to meet. It just allows so much more. And then life is just so much more exciting that way. And so I wanted to share that because I know that is definitely a struggle for me, is the constant showing up and putting myself out there, especially when I don't feel like it and needing the things to be a certain way. So hopefully this is something that resonates, and you can maybe take a little inspiration from that for the summer and go try something new. If there's something that you've been pushing off, like a goal or a business idea, or even going to a new event or a new place and like just showing up, that can also be super challenging. And just proving to yourself like, hey, I can do this thing that's uncomfortable, because the worst that's going to happen is I'm going to feel uncomfortable. Nothing worse is going to happen. So Go give it your shot, do the thing. Let me know in the comments what you're going to try out. What's something new that you've wanted to do, that you've been pushing off for a while. I'm curious to see, and hope everyone has an amazing summer.